Days of Fright Horror Movie Project, Year 4.
Welcome to the Two-Ton Nerds. As always, my name is Max James. It's October 16th, 2015, which means I have to cover 4 days in this video. I have to cover the 15th, the 16th, the 17th, and 18th. The reason why so many is because I missed today, and this is the weekend video, so I am going to cover the next couple days as well. So I'm just going to get right into it because I have a lot to say. The movies I'll be watching over the movies I have watched is Zombieland, Horns, Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead, and as well as another entry in the Trauma movies is Return to Nukeem High Volume 1. Now, I'm going to start with Zombieland first because this is the most notable of all of them. You got Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone, and Abigail Breslin in a zombie movie, which actually makes up for a very good cast for a zombie film, and it's very good. It has a lot of humor in it. Has a lot of good on-screen humor as well. I mean, like in terms of like when he's going through his rules to surviving Zombieland, words pop up on the screen and stuff like that, and in various forms and fashion, and kind of disintegrates in very different ways. It's pretty cool. I like that. I like that element of movies. I just love when kind of like the movie incorporates text somehow into the movie. I like that. It's basically Jesse Eisenberg's character is trying to get back to Columbus because he's a college student, and he's just trying to get back home, where he meets up with Woody Harrelson's character, and as well as Abigail Breslin and Emma Stone's characters, who are con artists before the world has gone zombified. So it's really good. I thought of it, and there's some nice twists and turns, and there's a great cameo in it. It's just really good, and every character feels like they are a character. They're just really good. Next up is, I'm going to start with Poultrygeist. Is Night of the Living Chicken Dead. This is a trauma movie. It's hilarious, but it's definitely not for everyone. It's barely even for some, because it's a trauma movie. You have to have an acquired taste for these kind of movies. Basically boils down as to a fast food restaurant is built upon this ancient Indian burial ground, and or something like that, and the chickens come back to life to wreak havoc on this town, over this fast food restaurant and its patrons. It's pretty cool. It's very satirish on the fast food industry, because all the characters are named after various fast food restaurants. You got Arby's and Wendy, and the main one is Kentucky Fried Chicken. So it's just really funny, really good humor. But the gore, it's all practical. I think there's like a few shots of CG, but nothing like you probably won't even notice it. But all of it is practical, very gorish, very crude humor, and I like that kind of stuff. It's funny, and so it's good. Up next is Horns with Daniel Radcliffe. This is a adaptation of a Joe Hill book of the same name. It's Stephen King's son. That's who it is, Joe Hill. And I like this movie. I really found this movie to be really great, because it's about this guy whose girlfriend is murdered, and everyone on the face of the earth thinks that he did it, except for his best friend. And throughout the movie, he's growing these horns that's kind of giving him some special powers that kind of, when he kind of touches them, he'll know what's going on, or what happened that night in the past and stuff like that. And as well as they have to tell him the truth, which makes for great humor in this movie. It's really funny, has some great twists and turns. Daniel Radcliffe is really good. This movie actually kind of helped shed the Harry Potter persona, because his biggest claim to fame is the Harry Potter movies, but I really did like Daniel Radcliffe in this movie. It's really great. It has, who else is in this movie? Juno Temple. You'll recognize a few other. I think one of them is from the Across the Universe. He's the one who plays Max. I do believe that's who he plays. He's the one who does the "I Want You" scene where he's going through the army recruitment thing. He's in this. Who else? I can't. Max Lind. I can't think of his. I can't. I know his name is Max. The guy's name is Max as well. So you'll recognize him from The Darkest Hour or something like that, where the monsters kind of, you see the electricity. I think that's what it's called, and as well as Art School Confidential, and as well as you'll recognize him as the buddy of the Winklevoss twins in Social Network. So this movie has a lot of people in it. It's really good. It's fun. The gore isn't too bad. There's really hardly any gore in this movie, but there's its intensity in some scenes. It's really good. It has great music. It has some great humor. It has some dark moments, and it's just really good. And finally is Return to Nukeem High Volume 1. This is another trauma movie. Oh, man. I am so impressed by this movie because I thought... I've always, when it comes to trauma movies, I'm constantly getting one-upped because for the longest time, I thought Toxic Avenger 4 was awesome. And then I watched Terra Firma, which I thought that was fantastic. Both high recommendations for me. Then Poultrygeist was the next step up. I thought that was a great movie. I thought it was awesome. And then Return to Nukeem High came out, Volume 1. And I love this movie because it's different, but it still keeps the trauma feel to it because it does have some pretty good gore moments. It looks great. That's what I have to commend this movie more than anything. This movie looks fantastic. The special effects are great, but I gotta tell you what the plot is. I can go on for days on the trauma movies about their practical effects, but the plot of this movie is you don't necessarily have to watch the previous incarnations of it. You got Class of Nukeem High 1, 2, and 3, I do believe, and so this is like going back to that universe. It's really good. The nuclear plant is gone, and a organic food plant is there now, and it got contaminated, so it's kind of turning the people in opposite directions of their personality. So it's like all the band geeks end up getting turned into like the gang of people, and I mean I will have to say this one has one of the jokes in the entire. I've heard some like rough jokes, but this one has a rough joke in there even for me. It's like after they kind of attack this one woman and her dog, I do believe, and they're just kind of standing around thinking what they're going to do, and it's like, this is just mind you, I think this just happened around the Dark Knight Rises theater shooting, or around that time, and one of the kids in the movie says, let's go shoot up a theater, and I'm like, ooh man, that's kind of rough. I mean, but that's just that type of movie. But I thought it has some good moments. I like the two lead characters, which are female. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. They're very, and the acting in this movie is actually really good. I commend this movie a lot for the acting and the special effects and stuff like that. Okay, I'm going to tell you my rating scale for each movie. My rating scale is 1, run-of-the-mill horror, 2, best watched with the group, 3, more than average horror but adds nothing new to the horror genre, 4, helps move the horror genre forward, and 5, being a horror classic. Now, okay, for Return to Nukeem High, I am going to make this one a horror classic because it's awesome. It's done really well. It's a true independent movie, which is awesome. Horns, I say it's a 3. It's more than average. I mean, it does have some good moments in there. Poultrygeist, I think this is definitely a 4. This is one of those rare 4 ones that help move the horror genre forward, because it shows you that it can be funny and the practical effects are great. I know I think it is a horror classic as well, but I think it's a 4 because it just shows you that practical effects are still alive and kicking, and it helps move that fans like me who love the practical effects keep on going. That's why I'm keeping it as a 4 and as well as a 5. It's kind of both, but it's keeping the practical effects alive. And then Zombieland, I'm actually, as much as it pains me to say, it is 2. And I'm not trying to say that is a bad thing. It's just, it is best watched with a group, because that's how I watched it when I first seen it, and it definitely, it's better watched with the group. That's exactly what it is. So, as always, my name is Max James, and I'm going to go geek out.